How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado, and I get it. You're thinking about making the big move to Denver, but you're not quite certain what part of Denver you should live in. Well, today I'm here to give you the most popular places in Denver to live, starting right now. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everett, and listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons to living in or around Denver, Colorado, then this is a channel for you. So that subscribe button and notification icon that are popping up on your screen, make sure you're clicking on that as I'm dropping new videos for you each and every week. And hey, as much as I love getting a little camera time and hopefully being somewhat entertaining, I'm also a licensed mortgage broker covering the entire state of Colorado and teamed with some of Denver's most talented realtors. And we are helping people move to Denver each and every day. So that number and email popping up on your screen, I'm always the person answering your phone calls, answering your texts, answering your emails, there winning if you need me. Now that we have that fun-filled stuff out of the way, let's get to what we're really here for, and that is, what are the best places to live in Denver? All right, so listen, as entertaining as I would like to pretend to be, if we tried to cover all the great places to live around Denver in one video, we'd either be here for a couple hours chatting or you'd stop watching after 3 minutes, both of which are acceptable. But in this video, we are gonna cover the southern part of Denver. Suburbs, neighborhoods, great areas that are popular south of the city, all within 15 to 30 to maybe 45 minutes on the extreme side. 45 minutes being, honestly, for Denver, a reasonable drive into the city. We could certainly look to get closer, but just to give you a frame of reference. So in every one of these communities, we're gonna give you some basic stats. Market index as far as is it a buyer or seller's market. Average home price as far as sales of detached homes and condos. Average rent for you renters of detached homes and condos. And then of course, we're gonna touch briefly on schools, what the neighborhoods are like, lifestyles, things that may or may not matter to you. So the first place we're gonna talk about today, and anytime you're talking about south of Denver, Highlands Ranch is going to come into the mix. It is one of the most popular areas, not just for Denver, but for people looking to move to Colorado and wanting to be near the city. So Highlands Ranch is the quintessential initial community development. It was a place where a group of people came together and they wanted to design a community that had everything that people needed to live within it in a very convenient way. Rec centers, gyms, cafes, restaurants, shopping, trails, parks, everything that an individual, a couple, a family, a group would need to sustain. And Highlands Ranch has, for the better part of nearly 30 years, going on 30 years, has been one of the most popular areas for Denver for that reason. So the market action index out in Highlands Ranch sits at 83. Anything above 50 is considered a seller's market. 83 may sound aggressive. It was 98 not too long ago, back in April. So that gives you an idea of kind of how the housing market has shifted a little bit, but also how desirable Highlands Ranch is. If you're looking to buy a house out in Highlands Ranch, median home price for a detached home was $750K. Median for a condo was $595,000. For you renters, the average rent for a home in Highlands Ranch was sitting at $3,050. The average rent for an apartment was sitting around $2,100. Now, when it comes to schools, and I'll always go off niche.com, it's a very good reference in my humble opinion, something you can definitely check out. Again, that's niche.com. They rate Highlands Ranch an A. Highlands Ranch is part of Douglas County Schools, which gets has a very good reputation. And it also has a STEM school there, which is a popular school. Here in Denver, you see multiple locations. And as far as lifestyle and likability, well, I mean, when we talk about likability and walkability, Highlands Ranch gets a top 3 score in the entire state. It's very well known for that. And again, when I talked about that planned development, they put all your restaurants and your shops and your cafes. Certainly people from Highlands Ranch will still make the trek 30, 45 minutes, depending on traffic, up to Denver to do the things they want to do there. But in Highlands Ranch, you're close to the mountains to get up there. You're close to hiking, biking. You have plenty of things to do in the neighborhoods, beautiful parks and trails, a very popular community, safe. That's one of those terms, obviously, you're gonna hear a lot about Highlands Ranch, which is one of the reasons Highlands Ranch becomes one of the most desirable locations to look at if you're thinking about being south of Denver. Location number 2, and just a little east of Highlands Ranch, is Centennial. So Centennial, which kind of intermingles with Greenwood Village and the Denver Tech Center, so it's close to some of your working areas, continues to be a very popular place for people looking to move because it gives them a little of that vibe where you get some suburb, but you're close enough to the city, you're close enough to the tech center to be close to jobs and work, as well as some of the nicer restaurants, getting downtown. Centennial is also where the Denver Broncos practice, so people love being near that facility. If you're not a Bronco fan, hopefully you will be soon. And we got Russell Wilson, let's go. So Centennial's market, just slightly more of a seller's market currently this month at Highlands Ranch at an 86 on the index. I mean, that's all perspective, of course, but certainly a little more affordable. Median home price for a detached home was sitting at $725,000, and median price for a condo sitting at $475,000. Houses were renting for $2,950, and condos or apartments currently renting, again, median at $1,975 a month. Now, a great thing about Centennial, if schools are important to you, and I'll always encourage people to check out schools even if you don't have kiddos, because especially if you're buying a house, your resale value, schools are very much connected in that. But niche.com has Centennial as an A+ for schools for 2 very good reasons. One, it's part of Cherry Creek School District, which is one of the highest, most prestigious school districts in Denver. And Centennial is also part of the Littleton School District. Again, very high regarded. So overall, an A+, unless you're one of those kids who got A++, I'd say that's pretty good, but I'll let you decide. And then again, when we talk about that lifestyle of Centennial, very popular for the fact that you are near Greenwood Village, you are near the Denver Tech Center where a lot of businesses, industries, some of the best restaurants in Denver sit around, some nice bars and breweries. You've got plenty of parks, trails, certain areas, new developments in there with some really nice apartments, condos, detached homes, you name it. So Centennial continues to be one of those more and more popular places for people looking to live. So area number 3, in an area that continues to get more and more popular with new developments and all sorts of stuff happening in their community, is Parker, Colorado. So Parker sits, it's about 45 minutes from Denver, and not necessarily, geographically, it doesn't look that far from Denver. It's just kind of some of the roads that you need to take to get out there. But Parker continues to be one of the most popular and growing communities of the south part of Denver. Now, because of that distance, it's not going to be for everybody, and that's part of the reason why your market action index sits Parker at a 68 as far as buyers sellers. 68 is about as good as you're going to see it from a buying perspective. Now, it can be a bit pricey. Median detached home sale was at $794,000. Median condo sale was sitting at $444,000. So you do pay somewhat of a premium for that location. Average rents, a house would run you about $3,000. An average apartment would run you about $1,800. That may sound like a little, might sound a lot to you, but $1,800 for Denver, not bad when you compare it to other communities. For schools, Parker gets an A- from niche.com. They're part of Douglas County Schools. Douglas County has a very good reputation. You heard it in Highlands Ranch as well. But obviously niche.com has different segments. They're gonna look at specific schools. I'd always encourage you, I'll repeat it again, whether you have kids or not, whether you need schools or not, especially if you were thinking about buying a home, check out schools because they're going to play a role both in your purchase and your eventual sale. And as far as your lifestyle of Parker, like I mentioned, it is a bit of a drive from Denver. You're kind of deep in the suburbs, just how you venture out there. But when you talk about livability, walkability scores, Parker is very high. There's a lot of new developments. It has a great community vibe to it. One thing that I've really enjoyed doing for the sake of these videos is getting down there and just spending time in the community and being around these ball fields, filled with kids playing baseball and people riding horses, because you get some ranches and some corrals nearby. And they have a lot of different festivals throughout the year, some geared around the holidays, 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it. A lot of farmers markets. It's one of the more active communities where they really think out events for people to come to that I've seen. That's part of the reason why, again, Parker just continues to be more and more a popular area for people looking to be on the south side of Denver. I should mention, of all the communities that I'm talking about, just about all of these videos, Parker gets one of the highest likability scores from the people living in that community as any other area you could consider. And location number 4, and this is where I'm gonna get yelled at a little bit because some people are gonna say, Jimmy, you said 45 minutes and it's probably closer to an hour, but that is Castle Rock. Because if we're gonna look south of Denver and we're gonna look at suburbs that are extremely popular, Castle Rock is going to be one of them. Castle Rock has a lot going for it. So one, that market action index sitting at a 65. It was a 90 just a couple months ago. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see this market just in general has cooled a bit from being an absolute seller's dream to being a little more balanced. Not balanced, a little more balanced. Median price in Castle Rock, you're looking at $750,000 for a detached home, and you're looking at $465,000 for a condo. If we're talking about rentals, $2,950 for a house and just a shade over $2,000, $2,050 for a condo or apartment. Schools in Castle Rock, niche.com gives it a B+. Again, it's part of Douglas County Schools. Douglas County is a massive county south of Denver, so a lot of these communities are within that. Again, get specific as far as niche.com, why one's an A+, an A-, a B+, but all get relatively good ratings, so you don't have to worry about schools too much in Castle Rock. That sounded like a guy who doesn't have kids yet, right? You don't have to worry about schools very much. And then when you talk about lifestyle, Castle Rock, and it's come a long ways. When I was a kid, the only thing you went to Castle Rock for, with my apologies to people who already live in Castle Rock, was for their outlet malls. They have this huge set of malls where all outlets. You think you're getting a discount on stuff, but it's kind of like going to Costco. You end up there and spending a ton of money. But the outlet malls continues to grow. There's restaurants, bars all around it. But Castle Rock just continues to expand. Now, it's a bit of a north-south type place. What I mean by that is that there's mountains on either side of Castle Rock, so they can't grow east to west very much. It usually has to stretch down. But you have a mini incline, so a bunch of stairs going up to a beautiful summit. Get some exercise. Hikes everywhere. A lot of outdoors, zip lines, all sorts of stuff for all walks of life. You got stuff for, the individual just getting out and having some fun, you getting out with your friends, you raising a family, whatever you want to do. Castle Rock has really come a long ways, and it's a great community for all of those things. They also have Hess Reservoir, which is a beautiful spot to check out. And one of my favorite things, and kind of newer, they develop it, is a river walk, which is just becoming more and more popular. Wherever you go, anytime there is a river running through a city, they're just like, hey, we should put a walk next to this with some shops. People would like that, and they do. So Castle Rock has a great downtown area that they've redeveloped. They've sunk some money into, as well as that river walk. Definitely something you're gonna want to check out. And it makes that drive worth it, because I know it might not be 45 minutes. It is without traffic, but it's an hour with traffic. But Castle Rock, going to be one of those most popular communities for you to check out. And I'll tell you, when you look at ratings, most people will start with, I shouldn't say most, Highlands Ranch tends to be the most popular place for people looking for that type of community. But Highlands Ranch is specific. There's only so many properties there. There's only so much they can build. So when Highlands Ranch doesn't work out for people, the two places they look next are Parker and Castle Rock. That's why we're definitely gonna look at those areas if you're thinking south of Denver. So think, you've got those 4 amazing areas, and we've only covered the south part of Denver. So if you have any questions on those, make sure you're hitting me up. That phone number, that email popping up on your screen. I'm always the person answering your phone calls, answering your texts, answering your emails. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everts. That was the best places to live in Denver, South Suburbs edition. Until I see you next time, peace.